Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. My, oh my, it is Wednesday. Third day of December 2025. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. It's Down the Road We Go. I'll be driving the bus. I have a CDL license, don't worry about it. 32 degrees here in the big city, never quite developed. We were supposed to see some sun breaks yesterday, mid to late morning. It was supposed to be fairly sunny for the rest of the afternoon. Just didn't happen. It happened. This is the time of the year. The days are getting considerably shorter. We're still a half an hour from sunrise, and the sun goes down at 4:11 in the afternoon. So we don't have a lot of daylight to begin with, but the sun just didn't have enough oomph to burn off the clouds, and it's going to happen again today. Maybe a little bit warmer than today. The big change really happens overnight Thursday into Friday, and then, whoa, our temperatures just go way up. There are 3 days in our forecast period. We could set new record high temperatures for those days. All those details are coming up, but it's going to be pretty mild and pretty wet come this weekend. And some snow in the passes. We'll have that too. We'll have news. We'll have sports. Cashmere's getting ready to take on Royal on Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock for the State 1A Championship. Of course, Royal has won the last 5 in a row, and I think 8 of the last 9 State 1A championships. They've also won close to 50 games in a row. It's going to be a good one. Eric had a chance to talk to Coach Bremer at the Apple Bowl. They practiced at the Apple Bowl because they have field turf, and the game, of course, will be at Husky Stadium, which also has field turf. We'll have that in sports. And we're going to revisit the interview I did with Sustainable NCW about a month ago with Marline Farrell and Beryl Bils. Marline talked about the get rid of your Halloween pumpkin bit. You can ignore that. But the vast majority of the conversation with Beryl was about her job as the bike education coordinator for Sustainable NCW. I forgot how much I like that conversation, so we're going to air it for you again in the back half of the program. Cameras, not a lot to show you. It is what it is. That is the Wenatchee Heights camera pointed kind of towards the cross. The reason that you can see that the way you can is that the cross itself is lighting up that little abutment there. We're waiting for, we believe, that Bigfoot may actually walk into the frame. There was a Bigfoot sighting earlier today, we're told, up at Wenatchee Heights, but we don't have that kind of patience. This is one of our go-to cameras when we have the low clouds and fog because you can see something. For instance, Wenatchee Avenue, that's from the roof of the Cascadian, pointed south. Don't forget to shop local, folks. Head downtown and take care of your local merchants. I always make a point of doing that every year because, well, it's the right thing to do. So that's what I do. And of course, there's the big tower for the Widener apartment homes. Continues to go up. The Arando Rock camera, again, one of our go-to cameras, so we can at least show you something. And what the heck is that? I guess that's the reflection of the headlights on the lens there. It's kind of eerie, isn't it? Kind of cool too. Or maybe it's a ghost. I understand that area is haunted. I'm making all of this stuff up. But Billy Goat looks like that. Now that's pretty cool. That's pretty good. You can see Mount Kalispell way off in the distance in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. It sticks up high enough to get above the cloud cover, but that is from our Billy Goat camera, about 7,400 feet above sea level. So it kind of looks like an airplane. In Omak and Okanagan and Twisp and Tenasket and Bridgeport and Brewster, you're all going to be sucked in pretty good. It's 30 in Omak right now. We are at 32 here in the big city, which right now is the warm spot. It's going to be pretty rainy and pretty wet and pretty warm down here in the Wenatchee Valley, but there is some snow expected up in the mountain passes. Specifically, I want to talk about Stevens Pass. It's not going to come down in a great big bunch of snow, but between Thursday afternoon, all day Friday night and into Saturday, Stevens could get anywhere from 6 to 16 inches of snow. So it is going to snow, but it's going to take its sweet time doing it. Even if they get to 16 inches of snow, we're talking over about a 72 to 80 hour period. So the plows should get ahead of the game. That's Stevens specifically I'm talking about. I-90 and Blewett is going to get a little bit of snow, but Stevens is going to take the brunt of it. And even then, anywhere from 6 to 16 inches from tomorrow afternoon through Saturday. Seems like a lot, but it is a rather lengthy period of time. Yesterday's high, by the way, 37, normal high, 37. From our friends at Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, it's where comfort care and community come together. Lots of clouds today, a little bit warmer, a high of 41. They tell us clouds tonight, 30 for the overnight low, and then we do 40 all over again with a chance of rain, especially on Thursday afternoon. Overnight Thursday night, it is going to rain. Even though it's going to get all the way down to 33 degrees, it's going to be rain, not snow, with some snow in the upper elevations. It's a 60% chance of snow, by the way, on Thursday night. And then we get really warm. By Friday, temperatures are going to warm well above normal, and then the unsettled weather continues right into the weekend. On Friday, our forecast high is 48, and our record high on Friday the 5th is 48 degrees. Our next chance to break a record is on Sunday. We'll come close to it. We won't break a record on Saturday. Sunday will come close. Tuesday, a very good chance of breaking the record. The record high on Tuesday is 52. We're being a little conservative with that 52. It could be more like 54 or 55 on Tuesday. These are not the kind of temperatures we normally see come December. And again, precipitation here in the lowlands, the lower elevations, rain, not snow. All right, I'm going to take a break and come back with your Wednesday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. I've been helping people for nearly a decade understand their Medicare options. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand coverage options so you can feel confident in your Medicare decision. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or see me at my office in Wenatchee with easy parking and entrance.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
It's cloudy, it's foggy, it's 32. It's going to be cloudy and foggy today. Cloudy and foggy on Thursday with some rain Thursday night. A big subtropical system rolls in on Friday with quite a bit of rain and temperatures 12 to 15 degrees above normal over the weekend. It's exactly 9 minutes after the hour. The Wenatchee Valley Fire Department is a little concerned about the proposed tax increment finance district in Malaga. They're worried it'll cut too deeply into its future revenues and force unwanted tax increases for fire service. The Chelan-Douglas Port Authority wants to designate a 3,300-acre area as a TIF district. That's where future increases in property tax revenue will be captured to pay for specific public infrastructure improvements inside the TIF boundaries. But Chelan County and other junior taxing districts, including the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department, have balked at the possibility of lost tax income. In a statement last week, Fire Chief Brian Brett said with no TIF in place, it expects about $1.2 million annually from the 3 Microsoft data centers under construction inside the tax zone. With a TIF, The fire agency says it would receive only $135,000 a year from the years 2029 to 2031. The 3 port commissioners representing Chelan County will have the final vote on whether to authorize the TIF district. Now, the planned vote was originally scheduled for December 9th. That has now been postponed, but it could happen at their meeting scheduled for December 23rd. Well, travelers, tomorrow you're going to have to avoid Blue Pass. If you normally take Blue Pass, ain't going to happen during the daylight hours. The DOT is going to close Highway 97 between State Route 270 and Ingalls Creek Road through the daylight hours. They need to remove all the damaged trees and debris north of the summit. All of that stuff left behind by the Labor Mountain fire. That wildfire began in Kittitas County, burned into Chelan County, west here of the valley, and forced the closure of Blewett Pass for 16 days. The cleanup work will run from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow. Motorists should instead, of course, use Highway 2 across Stevens Pass and State Route 28 through Wenatchee and Quincy, again during daylight hours. The Community for the Advancement of Family Education, also known as CAFE, has officially moved into their new location on Lewis Street. The building was formerly the headquarters of the Chelan-Douglas Community Action Council. They moved to North Wenatchee Avenue earlier in the year. CAFE said the move is the first phase of a 2-part capital campaign to establish a multicultural and multi-service community center here in Wenatchee. The new facility will offer classroom space for English language learning, private offices and meeting spaces for the Recovery Navigator program, and a youth space for tutoring and helping with homework. Phase 2 of the capital campaign will focus on the acquisition of a larger building capable of housing additional community partners and hosting large-scale events. The City of Leavenworth's Housing Advisory Committee has launched an initiative to address the city's need for workforce and affordable housing. It's the Build It Together Leavenworth Challenge. They're inviting builders, developers, architects, and community leaders to submit their ideas. The city has set aside $500,000 to fund one or more selected projects. You may also receive regulatory and permitting assistance. The city says the initiative aims to solve the housing gap for local essential employees in healthcare, education, public safety, and hospitality. The request for ideas targets middle housing solutions like duplexes and small apartment blocks. The project committee is seeking proposals to incorporate sustainability and long-term affordability. Mission Ridge plans to open for skiing tomorrow. In fact, if they do, they will be the first ski resort in our state to open for the season. Of course, it was a very warm and very rainy November, and that meant a shortage of snow, and that has kept up most of the major ski centers from starting up their chairlifts. Stevens Pass, initially, they were hoping to start this Friday, but they announced that their opening would have to be delayed. Crystal Mountain has also postponed their opener. The Summit of Snoqualmie is offering lift tickets for December 13th. That's a ways away. Mission Ridge, of course, can manufacture its own snow in some locations. They say they will operate only 2 chairlifts plus the rope tow for the time being, and because of that, ticket prices will be discounted for the first weekend. An Ellensburg physician is accused of breaking federal law by falsifying medical exams for commercial driver's license applicants, people who want to get their CDL. Dr. Anna Elperin was indicted on November 26th on felony charges. Among them, Eastern Washington's interim U.S. Attorney Pete Serrano says Elperin would certify that CDL candidates met the physical qualifications to get a CDL license when they, in fact, did not. The 42-year-old doctor is also accused of permitting staff members at her Ellensburg clinic to write themselves prescriptions for controlled substances. Her state medical license was already restricted after past offenses. That happened in 2022. Last week, a magistrate judge in Yakima ordered Elperin to be held in jail ahead of her trial. She has pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Few people are thrilled to get the notice in the mail. Hey, jury duty. Get signed up, but it is a vital function of our democracy. Marisol Woodward is in charge of Chelan County's jury summons system, which calls on residents to show up at the courthouse and do your civic duty. She gave a rundown of the process on the Chelan County Connections podcast.
People have a right to a trial by an impartial jury. It is your civic duty. There's really no way around it unless you don't qualify or there's special circumstances. And just to give you an idea of the process, when you are summoned, what you will receive by mail, it will look something like this, and it will say on there, jury summons enclosed, and it's an official document. It is a valid document, and what you do with that is you will open it up, and inside there you will find a jury form. It's long form here. You will fill it out and return it within 10 days. It's very important to keep this top portion here because that has all the important information you need for your call-in date, your group. And then on the back of the form, it's going to have more information because there's always a lot of questions, and this should answer a lot of your questions. And lucky you guys, you get my direct phone number back here. So if you have any questions, just give me a call. I think it's important for people to understand because it's not common knowledge how names are drawn. So I never know who's going to be summoned until I receive a response. So how it works is on the state level, they will take names from Department of Licensing, whether you have a driver's license or an ID, and they also take names from voter registration. So they randomly select names from those agencies, and that's how we receive the names for jury. So it's done on another level, and I just ask for the numbers, and then I receive the jurors. So that's how it works. Depending on the month, we can summons between 2,300 jurors to 3,000. It just depends on how many potential jury trials can go per month. We can have up to 27 groups calling per month. And, I juggle them around and make sure that I communicate with you to make sure you know what to do when you're calling for your group. And when you report, if your group does report, you don't know if you're showing up for a district court jury trial or a superior court one. For Chelan County, unlike other counties, my role is to make sure jurors report for both of the courts. And when you report, like I was saying, you don't know if you're going to show up for a district court one or superior court. And there is a slight difference. When you show up for a district court trial, those last like about a day, and a superior court one could be multiple days. If your group does have to report and you are not feeling good, please do not show up. Call us and leave us a message. We do not want you there sick. And then I will call you back and we will take care of it. And also, like, if your group reports and you don't make the final cut, you are done calling in and done for the term.
And finally, on this Wednesday, staff at Cascade Medical Center took a workplace competition and turned it into over 2,500 pounds of food for Upper Valley men. The Leavenworth Hospital has held its annual food drive for over a decade, and this year set the all-time record for food donated and funds raised. The staff was divided into two teams by their last names, teams A through L and team M through Z. Overall, the staff not only donated 2,530 pounds of food, I'm glad I didn't have to weigh that, but to raise more than $10,000 for Upper Valley men. Team M through Z took the win in the friendly competition. They donated about 19 more pounds of food over the other team. Good for them. And by the way, I got jury duty coming up. I got to call in on, I believe, my 2-week period, I think, is December 15th. So if you're in the same pool as I am, you may serve on a jury with a celebrity, provided one shows up. And that is the news on this Wednesday morning. We'll have Wednesday evening news, too. We have it every Monday through Friday, as a matter of fact. Grant Olson in the anchor chair, Eric with sports, the news. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on television, on YouTube at 5 o'clock, on our homepage at 5 o'clock. We stream all the time on our website, ncwlife.com, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Roku, and and my waving pen. Send me an email, news@ncwlife.com, if you think something out there might be newsworthy. We've gotten some pretty big stories from you folks, and there's our QR code, which stands for quick response. I didn't know that until about an hour or so ago. Coming up next is sports. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
for Susan.
During the holiday rush, those might be the best words you can hear all week. At Abby's, you get a night off from cooking, a place to gather with family, and easy holiday catering that everybody loves. For legendary pizza and hospitality, visit Abby's.com. Aloha and Melikaliki Maka from Abby's. End your year with a tropical twist. Our big Hawaiian pizza at a legendary holiday price. Plus, earn $5, $10, $20 or more in free pizza with our holiday gift card offer. Abby's, a legendary holiday pizza tradition.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
Sports at 22 after the hour. We'll start out with men's college basketball. Cougars lost to Bradley last night. The final score was 64-50, but Ace Glass led the team. He had 15 points. I just love that name. That's perfect for college basketball. Coming up tonight, Eastern will visit Denver. That's at 6 o'clock, and the Dogs play host to UCLA at 8 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. Women's college basketball, no results, just the schedule. The Cougars, who have been struggling this year, they visit the other Cougars, BYU. That'll be at 1 o'clock on ESPN+. Eastern Washington will host Denver at 6 o'clock, also on ESPN+. Wenatchee Wild scored and scored again and again and again and again and again and again. They took it to Swift Current last night. The final was 7-2 at the Town Toyota Center. 7 goals, 7 different players scoring goals. You like that. Kalen Jowdry opened the scoring barrage just 28 seconds into the game. It was his 5th goal of the season. The two teams went into the first intermission with Wenatchee up 1-0. Blake Vanek opened up the second period with his 7th goal. That was 56 seconds into the frame. By the time the second intermission came along, it was 5-0. Again, the final was 7-2. And now it's on the road to beautiful Alberta. 3 games in 3 days up in Alberta. They'll start at Lethbridge on Friday, and then the Wild will visit Medicine Hat Saturday, and then up to Calgary on Sunday. You can follow all the action with our friend Austin Drade on 560 KBQ. Cashmere's been practicing pretty much the last 3 weeks at Lieboff Field at the Apple Bowl. This is the big one. They're getting ready for the State 1A championship game on Friday. They will take on 5-time defending champion the Royal Knights at Husky Stadium. Coach Brian Brenner had a chance to visit with their own Eric Granstrom. He says it's a quick week. We got to turn around and play football on Friday.
Because it's such a short week, playing on a Saturday, you're leaving on a Thursday to go play on a Friday, you really only have a couple days to prepare. Obviously, you know, we've been used to that. We played on a Thursday, I think twice this year. Like, we're kind of used to that anyways, but everything's accelerated. So the lack of focus is not acceptable, and our guys know that, because we have to do stuff fast. We usually have a Tuesday to do openers, to do 1st and 10 calls, a Wednesday to do 3rd down and red zone, a Thursday, well, today we did 1st down, 3rd down, 4th down, red zone on offense and defense, because everything's accelerated. So, yeah, it's been a good prep. It's accelerated, but it's kind of like ripping the Band-Aid off, right? Rip the Band-Aid off, get through it, get out of it what you need to get out of it, try to make sure your team goes in as healthy as possible and with some type of legs back after 14 weeks and go play their best football at the right time.
Of course, these two teams are quite familiar with one another. They play in the same conference. Earlier this year, Royal beat Cashmere in Royal in overtime, 21-15. But Coach Bremmer says Royal's not the same team, and neither is Cashmere.
Royal is so multiple, with especially their offensive scheme. Their offensive scheme is so multiple. Like you may see a formation twice and never see it again. Whereas obviously we're a little bit different. You're going to see the same formation pretty much all game. We're going to disguise it a bunch of different ways, but we're going to get to the same stuff in a different way. But they're not necessarily play repeaters and things like that. So just because what we saw in week 5 doesn't mean that's what they're going to run against us in week 14, right? So it's kind of a whole different system. You know their personnel though, which is nice. I'm familiar with their personnel. I'm familiar with what they try to do. So there's certain things you got to take away.
For Coach Bremmer, this is his first appearance in the state championship game, but not Cashmere, so he went to other folks from Cashmere who've been there and done that.
Well, obviously you lean on your assistant coaches that have been here before, because I have a couple of them that have been here before. You lean on a guy in your building like Jeff Carlson, who's won 3 state titles. A really respected guy in him, and you ask him some questions about week and prep and what it looked like his first time he was there. And I lean on my brother, who is a college football head coach in Minnesota, and you ask him questions and have him help you out with some stuff. But more importantly, and this is not boastful, but you have to lean on your own intuition and your own gut. Everybody's got a gut feeling, and you got to go with your gut sometimes. A lot of people want to put their hands in the pie, right? But you got to trust your gut that you're making the right decisions and putting your football team in the right spot.
Cashmere and Royal Husky Stadium in Seattle for the State 1A Championship Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock. If you can't make it to the Emerald City, you can watch the game, but you need a subscription on the NFHS network. Let's go bowling. Eastmont and Wenatchee did a little bowling yesterday at Eastmont Lanes. Our cameras were there, and the Eastmont girls swept their rivals from across the river. The Wildcats featured 5 seniors in their starting lineup, and they took the first game 739 to 669. Wenatchee brought up a freshman in the second game and almost won, but Eastmont pulled it out 780 to 776, and the Wildcats took both Bakers to complete the sweep. Our own Eric Granston visited with Eastmont High School bowler Esme Ramos, as well as her head coach Christy Bingy.
Well, the Eastmont Wildcats were able to knock off the Wenatchee Panthers in their first of 2 meetings this season in girls bowling. 4-0 the final as Eastmont gets the win, and Esme Ramos came through, and a left-hander out there. I wanted to ask you about that left-handed approach, and is that an advantage for you because you don't have everybody else using your side of the lane?
I definitely do think it is an advantage just because no one's going to be on that side of the lane. So for right-handed bowlers, you do have to move left or right with it getting dry, but for left-handed, I can just stay usually most likely.
Talk about that smooth approach you have, and that release is fantastic. Where did you learn that?
I think definitely from Coach. She keeps on reminding me every single time. So if I don't, she always has someone reminding me.
Talking with head coach Christy Bingy now. Well, Christy, I know you guys came in on paper with a favor, but Wenatchee gave you guys a challenge today.
They did. That second game was a hard-fought game, and when we were hitting the 9th frame, I said, okay, you guys, you need to close your frames. The next 2 have to be closed. And they went, okay, coach. And they came through, which I was really proud of them. And then our Bakers were kind of off to a slow start. The first 3 frames were open, and I said, okay, you guys, I know you can bowl better than this. And they said, yeah, coach, we can. And they got it together, finally.
Eastmont improved, by the way, to 3-0 in Big 9 play. Wenatchee drops to 2-2. And finally, high school basketball, ladies first around here. Here's your scoreboard from results from last night. We didn't get all the scores in on time, but I can tell you that Moses Lake did knock off Ephrata. Wenatchee took care of Cascade and Leavenworth by just a couple. Eastmont dropped to Central Valley in Spokane. Omak over Othello, Royal over Chelan in girls basketball, and Davenport rolled over Lake Roosevelt. Boys basketball from last night. Here are your scores. Now, we didn't get a couple of scores until after we created that, so you look at all the scores there. I can tell you that Sageview did beat Quincy 78-61. Bridgeport beat Waterville Mansfield in boys basketball 78-32, and one other score to pass along, 63-58. 63-58 is the last score I have. I just don't know what the teams were. It was a long night. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Your Obscura holiday. It's National Make a Gift Day today. A friendly reminder that for about the first 1,000 or 2,000 or 9,000 years of human civilization, you didn't go to the store and buy a gift. If you wanted to give somebody a gift for any occasion, you made it yourself. And there's something about making a gift. It adds a little, it's true, it adds a little something to it by making somebody a gift. I have no discernible talent, as you probably know by now, so it doesn't do me any good. Fun facts about giving gifts. 30% of people surveyed said they buy their pets a gift for Christmas. The biggest givers of gifts, whether they make them or not, whether they buy them or make them, folks who live in the Midwest. They give an average of 9 gifts per person. The skinflints, the folks of the South, who give an average of about 5 gifts per person. Make somebody a gift for Christmas this year. Yeah, it's easy to buy something, but making something, that's something else. I wish I could. Today in history, happy birthday, Illinois, the land of Lincoln. Became the 21st state of the Union. They ratified the Constitution on this date in 1818. That makes Illinois 207 years old today. Also the proud home state of our own Jefferson Robbins. Illinois, the very first state to ratify the 13th Amendment to get rid of slavery. Wasn't really a debate in Illinois. Illinois generates more nuclear power than any other state. Illinois is the largest producer in this country of pumpkins, the second largest producer of corn, and of course Presidents Lincoln and Obama are associated with Illinois, but the only 2 presidents who were actually born and raised in Illinois, Ronald Reagan and Ulysses S. Grant. Happy birthday, Illinois, 207 years old today. It was called festival seating. You got a ticket, didn't matter where the seat was for this particular concert. Festival seating was all the rage back in the 70s. So it was one ticket, one price. They opened the doors and everybody would run to the front to be as close as possible to the stage. During the crowd lining up behind the doors at the Riverfront Coliseum in Cincinnati, The Who was doing their sound check. The Who plays loud. They could hear it outside. They thought the concert was starting. They opened up one set of doors, and here's what happened.
Others were pleading also to open the doors, but the police inside were very tough and refused to listen.
And at 7:54, we found the first bodies laying on the ground some 15 feet from the front doors.
The bodies appear to have died of trauma.
For anyone that fell to the ground, there was no way to get up. The crowd just walked over them.
There were some evidence of footprint-like injuries.
They all just started to push. It was just one massive wave of pushing.
There were multiple contusions.
You could actually see the kids, they'd push and they'd kind of fall back and push again.
I caught my breath. I pleaded with a young woman police officer to open the doors, that there were people down out there.
Any that might have fallen in the front were just trampled.
The deaths were attributed to the asphyxiation.
The crowd surged forward, people fell, they panicked, and 11 ended up dead.
Yeah, 11 died, all of suffocation. The show went on. The authorities decided it would be better just to do the show and not inform the crowd or the band of what had happened. The Who was informed after the show. As you might imagine, they were as devastated as everybody else was. This is the Mars Polar Lander. Had it actually landed on Mars, and on this date, 1999, 26 years ago, right before the Mars Polar Lander was supposed to land on Mars, we lost contact with it, and we don't know what happened to it. It might be up there in a bazillion pieces. The Mars Polar Lander, that was an artist's rendering of what it would look like. It doesn't look like that. It cost the taxpayers $165 million, by the way, for something that didn't work. And speaking of something that didn't work, the Silverdome. Opened in 1975, it was the home of the Detroit Lions, the Detroit Pistons, and many other Detroit area teams in Pontiac, Michigan, about 30 miles north of Detroit. After the Lions moved out in 2001, it was abandoned. Eventually, it was looted and robbed, and people tore stuff away from it. And finally, on this date, 9 years ago, they blew it up. And here it is. Everybody loves a good demolition, an implosion of a stadium. So here it is, the implosion of the Silverdome on this date 8 years ago. And we're waiting for it to fall down. Yep, Maybe it's atypical of the Silverdome, which wasn't particularly liked to begin with, that the implosion didn't work. They tried it again the next day, and it did work, and now it's a giant Amazon distribution center. That is progress, ladies and gentlemen. Birthdays, one heavenly birthday. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Well, Ozzy made it in. John Michael Osborne. We knew him as Ozzy. Of course, he died in July at the age of 76. The guy lived to 76. Who's kidding who? That's remarkable in and of itself. We love you, Ozzy. We miss you. He was born in the state in 1948. And if you follow the Greek national football team, you know who this guy is. He's a legend, Avram Papadopoulos. Avram Papadopoulos from the Greek national soccer team. I have no idea who he is, but just saying Avram Papadopoulos is kind of fun. Try it. It's kind of cool. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. Today's HVAC system, pretty darn good. Saves you a lot of money, very efficient, and they last forever. If you're thinking of a new one, your first call is Alpine Air. Mike Minardi's got an opinion, then the interview I did with Marline and Beryl from Sustainable NCW. I learned a lot, and you will too. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
NCW Life channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office in Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I'm really pretty conservative. I always have been. I really don't like big government. I think taxes are too high. And I'm sorry, but I think Democrats have a tendency to be self-righteous, and they jump to unjustified conclusions when Republicans do things they don't like. However, I've never been a Republican, and I'll tell you now, I never will be. The Republicans allowing themselves to be under the thumb of that man who is the head of their party, they repel me. And while I may be disenchanted with Democrats, I'm disgusted by the Republican Party's willingness to sell their soul. And for what, I ask? And I do believe there are many others in this great country of ours who are beginning to feel the same way. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Mow, dig, haul, trench. The reliable Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor is highly capable. A smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation and versatile attachments that help you handle the job. The Kubota BX Series is the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
It's my bad when we don't have Sustainable NCW on my show more often. I get a lot of solicitations from a lot of people who want to come on the show to talk about their event or what's going on in their world, everything pertinent to the North Central Washington area. I can't say no to Marline because I'm the one who reached out to Marline as opposed to the other way around. Marline Farrell has been on this program 4 or 5 times. Maybe we should just give you a key to the building.
Thank you. I
Something
like that.
She's the head lady. She's the executive director of Sustainable NCW. And you brought a friend with you. Introduce your friend.
Yeah, this is Beryl, and Beryl is our bike education coordinator. Started a few months ago, and she's been doing an awesome job and is full-time leading multiple bike education programs that I'll let Beryl talk about.
Bike education program must have said somebody in your board sometime in the spring or summer said we need one of these. How did that kind of organically develop, that we need somebody to take care of the bike part of what we're a part of?
Yeah, so that we call that our Sustainable Bike Co-op, and it has a couple different branches, including the space that we have that is going to be eventually open to the public for bike repair. That's a free lease through the YMCA, so we're amazing partnership there, and that's at their new location. And between having kind of that part starting and then doing a lot more in the schools, but we started some things in the spring before Beryl came on under one grant, and then we received a second grant, and it required us to have a full-time person dedicated to doing these programs with middle schoolers and high schoolers. And so we put out the job announcement in the summertime, and Beryl applied, and she was our best candidate. So, and she's been very busy since then, because it's like we wanted to get the program started this fall, and starting in August, a lot to kind of like coordinate with schools and our partners. That's through, we're partnering closely with Wenatchee Cafe. It's kind of, we collaborate on this grant. And we're at 2 schools, and I'll let Beryl talk more about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated, but obviously there was a need for it, despite the fact that if you want this funding, you need to bring in somebody full time, and you did. I know you bike. You're pretty into the biking thing. Anything outdoors you're into. Marline, I suppose your biggest skill set was I can ride a bike and not fall off, because that's about all I can do.
Yeah, I can definitely ride a bike and not fall off. Biking is definitely one of my favorite things to do. I like to mountain bike. I like to road bike. I like to gravel bike, definitely as a favorite. And so I have a lot of passion that's leading me behind wanting to bring an after-school program and teach kids the joys of biking.
Being from Minnesota, which is a pretty heavy biking community, but correct me if I'm wrong, this is one of the best communities out there anywhere in the Pacific Northwest to be a biker, because we have it all. If you're into speed, you can go out in some of the old roads that are paved but very rarely traveled, and you can fly, or you can just casually go around the loop, or you can go mountain biking. I mean, regardless of what kind of way you want to ride a bike, it's all here, right?
Yeah, I would say that there is a lot of recreational biking out there, and sometimes that's because we're such a big biking community, that is kind of the barrier to entry for some of these kids and some of these less served communities, is that they see it as this fun thing that is really expensive a lot of times, that there's already a huge community surrounding. And so we're really trying to target those communities that might not be able to afford biking or see biking as something that's not really for them. And so we're giving access to these kids who might not be able to afford a bike. Their family has never owned a bike. Their family has never encouraged them to bike. And so through this program, every single kid who takes the program, it's a free program, gets a free bike at the end. They get a bike, they get a lock, they get lights, and they get a helmet.
Free is a correct me if I'm wrong, but free is like a really good price.
Yeah, it's a very good price.
It's like remarkable. So you're gonna set up shop once they're done with their campus at the bottom of 5th Street at the Y. You have a temporary thing right now, right?
Correct.
It's going to be a permanent thing. So you're on the waterfront at the Y, which attracts kids anyway, and bikes break. They don't last forever. This is like perfect, isn't it? I mean, location and what needs to be done.
Yeah, we are going to be able to offer to the community a place where not only they can like take their bike in, but they get to learn how to fix their bike at the same time. We're not just going to take the bikes in, fix it, and then give it back to them. We're hoping it to be a community space where volunteers will be able to come in, and if someone has to change their tires, change their chain, fix their brakes, do something pretty basic, that we'll be able to work through the problem with them. We have all the tools available. And then, yeah, we'll be able to also host programs where we can just go straight onto the Apple Capitol Loop. It's right there. So we can not only do how to fix your bike, but also how to actually enjoy your bike and give people a space to do that.
Has the incredible explosion in popularity of e-bikes brought people back to biking? I'll use myself as an example. I biked everywhere when I was a kid growing up in Wenatchee, because Wenatchee is so compact. You can go wherever you wanted to. You know, you can hop on your bike from your house, so you can be at the mall. in 15 minutes and good get exercise. Then you turn 16, you get your license, and you forget about your bike. Now e-bikes have exploded. You see them all over is that brought biking from a traditional sense back again? Because I know a lot of people who just hadn't ridden a bike in 25 years, and now they buy these e-bikes, and they can have the best of both worlds. Is that help in that respect?
Yeah, I think that, again, like that barrier to entry, a lot of people find biking to be really intimidating or have done it in the past, and they find that e-bikes give them a lot more access. You see e-bikes on mountain bike trails now, so those who might not have the stamina or the ability to get up the trail are using e-bikes in that way, or people just recreationally going around town. E-bikes are becoming a lot more popular for that population who might not be able to just traditionally bike.
So how are you getting the word out to the kids that you can, if you go through all of these steps, you're biking and it doesn't cost you a dime out of your pocketbook? How are you getting the word out on that?
So we've been going into schools, doing outreach specifically in classes, at lunch. We did a lot of outreach in September. As Marline said, I got brought in August, and so really fast turnaround, just hit the ground running with creating a curriculum and then getting the word out, making flyers, going to the schools. Cafe did a lot of work for us, trying, because they have so many connections with the kids in the schools already, that they got us right into the space. And so we talked to classes, we went into the lunchrooms, we really did some guerrilla marketing, just like grabbing kids in the hallway and be like, we can give you a free bike. And there was a lot of a really good response in both Wenatchee High School, where we're teaching now, and as well as Pinnacles Prep.
Transportation independence and mobility is a big selling point for a kid. Hey, you're bored? Hop on your bike and go someplace, as opposed to I have no way to get there except walk or take the bus. Mm-hmm. So good exercise and all that good stuff.
Yeah, good exercise, a good outlet for having a community, health reasons. There's an ample amount of reasons we want to get kids on bikes.
We also want you to get rid of your pumpkin the right way tomorrow on Saturday at Wenatchee High School. You still got your pumpkin left over from Halloween? I don't know if you have a statistical number to throw out there. My guess is almost everybody I know just chucks it in the garbage and calls it good.
Yes, I don't have an exact number, but it's a huge amount that goes in the landfill, and what a unnecessary thing.
Marline.
All that methane.
So talk about Saturday.
Saturday from 10 to noon at the Wenatchee High School. The Wenatchee School District allowed us to be there. We're just going to take up a small space in the parking lot, but we'll have some signs right by the entrance to the high school, so it's easy to find us. I don't know what else is going on, but there might be something going on in the gym or something. But we will be there to collect the pumpkins for free, and then we are going to be working with Winton. We will bringing them. We're going to just put them in the back of our truck that we have for our bicycle programs, but the truck gets to be used for other things. And then we'll be taking them to a cart so that then they can go up to Winton Compost. And what great compost it is. So. Wenatchee
High School is hosting some small school volleyball tournaments, regional and district tournaments on all day Saturday. So if you're planning on going, people, bring your pumpkin with you, because you'll be at the high school to go to the volleyball match and just go by. And of course, there's no cost for this, right? It's free.
That's right. Yeah, but the donations are always appreciated.
Yeah, and it's pumpkins of any size or shape. All they ask is that you don't still have the candle inside of it. If people even still do that, but it can be carved. It can be. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah.
So and then Winton takes it and they compost it.
That's correct.
So Winton's doing good. They're Winton manufacturing up there in I'm trying to remember the small town that they're located in by Lake Wenatchee. What's the name of that town? Winton, I believe it's called.
Winton or Merritt. Merritt as well.
They're doing good.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I'm a pretty optimistic guy. I was a little pessimistic because of the location of Winton manufacturing composting, that they may not be able to make a go of it, but I'm wrong.
Yeah,
again.
They have quite a few more customers now down in the Wenatchee area, and they have a hauling service, and they can continue to increase their capacity as more and more customers come online to do, either people who want to be part of the community composting or businesses that can do their compost and then get picked up once a week.
And I'm told it's really good compost. That's what I'm told.
Yeah.
I'm not a composter.
Right.
My brother is, but the word is that the stuff that they crank out is like really good stuff.
Right. They've got all the processes to make sure that it's, they have different, I think they have different types of compost for whatever your needs are. But it's amazing because it just completes the cycle, because it came from here and it's returning to here for your garden or your orchard.
And even though it's a little off the beaten path, and I'm glad they have this towing thing once a week, it's a perfect campus for that. They got all the room in the world to take care of that.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
cool, good for them. We had. Did we take care of everything with your cohort there to your left? I don't want to leave you. I got notes here, and I want to make sure did we get everything that you're involved in?
Yes, I think the last thing I would want to say is that if we are going to potentially be doing 4 more cohorts in the spring, these are our first 2, so we've worked out a lot of the kinks, and if we don't know exactly which schools we are going to be at next semester, but again, it's a free program, so we can take 15 kids within any cohort, and so hopefully we are able to fill those up in the spring. And if you're interested, or if you know someone who's interested, feel free to reach out, and we can try to get them on to the next cohort we're at their school.
I spend a number of Saturday mornings, if my parole officer allows me to. I go down to the Pybus. I like to hang around there, get some coffee, and just people watch on Saturday mornings when the weather is nice. And you see kids with parents all the time on bikes. That's a great recruiting area right there, because everybody seems to start and end their bike ride at the Pybus.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that we had our bike corral there every farmer's market this year too, and that was a great place to interact, to help with little maintenance things, and to park people's bikes, and then also just to share the word on what we're doing and hear how excited people are about it.
And you got some recruits. We have some other things to talk about. Rick, thank goodness Rick is off camera. I need the ratings. The board, you have board members. They cycle in and out. I know a number of them. Is it that time again to recruit board members to Sustainable NCW?
Yes, this is a great time for us to be looking for a few more board members, because we have a few that are moving off, and our programs have grown pretty considerably, and we're kind of just doing our best to kind of make sure we're being financially sustainable too. So we would really like to have particularly board members who have or future board members that have a specialty in background in finance to help us kind of do our financial planning. And also, since our bike program does take up now a large chunk of our time, people who have a passion for bikes would be another thing.
If Beryl's thing doesn't fly, is there a chance you could lose that funding, because you brought the funding in, but you got to bring in some full time? Here she is. Is there a chance that hey, you're not cutting it, so we're going to pull the plug, or is that kind of a permanent thing? Because I mean, I love this. And the last thing I want to hear is that they took the check away.
I guess we should be thanking our grantors. So the first grant that we got was through Department of Ecology, and then the program that is more, so Beryl is covered partly under the Department of Ecology grant, but that's an air quality grant, and then but the other one is through Department of Transportation and Cascade Bicycle Club, and they're the overseers, which is a big entity, and that has the potential to renew every year for many, many years. So as long as we do a good job, they will continue to partner with us. And it seems like the first year there's a lot of cost of getting things going. Once we get a system going, and I think we've already proven that we've done a cohort within within a month at turnaround, or a couple months, because I know they've had other partners in the West Side who maybe needed a few more months to get started. So I think they're really excited that we are representing North Central Washington to bring this kind of a program to it, because it's supposed to be statewide through the Department of Transportation. And I think we have a good chance of being able to continue every year for quite a while.
Well, they're going to come knocking on her door and say, looks like it's going okay. What are we doing wrong? I think that's what's going to be happening with that. So pumpkins, Wenatchee High School parking lot, 10 a.m. to noon, right?
Correct.
10 a.m. to noon. If you show up at 12:01, they'll probably still be there. So get rid of your pumpkins, but don't just toss them in the trash. Bring them to Marlene's organization. They'll make sure that the pumpkins will get composted correctly. You got a lot of stuff on your plate. Anything? I know there's some
I
other
have
stuff.
A couple other events I'd love to share.
No, please. I got nothing but time.
Yeah. So the following next week on the 12th, Wednesday, at the museum, we are hosting an educational event for the public that's open and free. We have 4 panelists who are going to share, and we have a moderator who's going to do an awesome job. And it's called Green as a Verb. So they are representing people who last year we hosted an event where it was kind of experts from waste management, Winton, Department of Ecology. This one, it's like people living a sustainable life in one aspect or another. So we have somebody who is a local bike rider. His name's Connor, and he just bikes everywhere. And so he can kind of maybe give us tips on how do you do it in the bad weather, or how do you motivate yourself? We have Deb, who owns Radix Farms. She's going to talk about gardening and organic farming, and kind of how could we take tips from her to kind of do a better job thinking about local agriculture and what we could do in our own yard. And we have Larry, who is a repair kind of expert, and he likes to help his community through repair events. He kind of repairs at the repair cafes at Eastside Rebuild. I'm looking at Beryl because Beryl also works at Eastside Rebuild. She works for both of our organizations. And And then we have Tona, who's from Wenatchee Cafe, to talk about environmental sustainability kind of at the community level. How do we make sure that everybody has access to all of those important solutions? And
that wouldn't be John Connor, my old buddy from Kennedy 3 that you're talking about, who bikes everywhere, because I know he does.
It's Connor
Okay.
Barrows.
Connor,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
who also
Connor
bikes everywhere. I might add.
So that's at 7 o'clock at the museum, and it's going to be a really inspirational talk, and we hope that people show up.
And that's on the 12th of this month.
On the 12th, yep. And then in December 2nd, I am doing a presentation with my friend and colleague, Steve, who is with Our Valley, Our Future.
Steve Maher.
And we are helping share with a community, and it's at Science on Tap, so that means you can enjoy hearing some science while you're enjoying an adult beverage at Ground Control on December 2nd, and we're going to be talking about the greenhouse gas inventory results for the city of Wenatchee and Chelan County that our two organizations help facilitate. So it's the first time we have the true data on where are our emission sources and what are we doing already to kind of reduce them, and what can we do in the future to try to reduce them.
The valley is prone to dirty air in the wintertime, right? I mean, we get it all, we get the air inversion.
Mm-hmm.
There's no place for from smoke from fireplaces and carbon monoxide. Is it a tough fight there to keep the air clean in the valley when we get to the bad stale air in December and January?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely things that we can do to kind of like continue to help our community do a better job on thinking about the time of year in terms of and their heat sources, and helping with energy efficiency type of programs that can help maybe with some of the air quality things.
Well, kudos to Link and everybody who's out buying electrical cars there.
That's right.
They probably just go, ha ha, as they drive by gas stations and remind people they're not polluting the air either. Marlene, it's good to see you. Good luck with your job as well. Again, Pumpkins on set. Where am I? It's Pumpkins on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Wenatchee High School parking lot, and all the other good stuff. Go to their website, by the way. It's very well done. I know, because I didn't do it. And thanks once again for Rick, the president of the board, for not being on this show. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 14. Join your host Mike Mitchell and his special guests as they explore some of the most exciting fisheries BC has to offer. BC Outdoors Sport Fishing TV. Check your listings for airtimes.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Didn't mention this at the start of the show, but I think you folks in Moses Lake already know, still no school. Moses Lake Teachers Association still on strike. So this is, let's see, they were supposed to come back to school on Monday. Didn't happen. Yesterday didn't happen. Today didn't happen. But a friendly reminder for you students in the Moses Lake School District, the school year by statute is 180 days. So you're still going to have to do your 180 days regardless of how long your extended Thanksgiving vacation comes. Hopefully they'll get this settled soon and the kids will go back to school. But once again, strike continues in the Moses Lake School District. 34 degrees, lots of clouds, lots of fog. That's the story today. Lots of clouds, lots of fog. Now, if you're heading into the mountain passes, there is a chance of a little bit of snow, although it's going to be quiet weather down here. Temperatures in the mountain passes will be cold enough Thursday night into Friday and into Saturday to support some snow. Specifically, I want to mention Stevens Pass. From Thursday afternoon through Saturday, I know it's a long period of time, Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, all day Friday, Friday night into Saturday, and into Saturday afternoon. Stevens Pass could get anywhere from 6 to 16 inches, which really isn't too bad because it's going to be spread out over an extended period of time, which means the plows should be able to stay ahead of the game. Unfortunately, for the upper elevations, they're looking at rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we're looking at a lot of rain and very mild temperatures once we get there. Clouds and fog, 41 today, clouds and fog, 30 tonight, clouds and fog Thursday. In the later part of the day on Thursday, about a 40% chance of rain. Thursday night, it's going to rain. Even though the overnight low is getting down there, about 33, too warm for snow. It's going to rain Thursday night and snow in the upper elevations. Friday, rain and 48. If we get to 48 on Friday, that would tie the record high. We have a chance to get close to record highs on Friday and Saturday. And look how warm those temperatures are going to be. For this time of the year, we don't see that too often. That's it for us. Have a good and safe Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.